Construction mafias have so far cost the economy more than 68 billion rand. The criminal syndicates hamper infrastructure development and even put companies out of business. So we understand this, of course, discussing their impact right here on eNCA. But to further take this discussion forward, we're now joined, of course, by the CEO of the Black Business Council, Kganki Matabane, joins me this morning for this conversation. Thank you so much, Kganki, for your time, and good morning to you. I mean, if we're talking 68 billion rand so far as just the cost alone due to the construction mafia, why has this been going on for so long? Why are they allowed to continue to loot so much from our economy?
Good morning to Melo and the eNCA viewers. I think from where we're sitting, there's a lack of political will to deal with this issue. For example, when the crime started, because these people started very, very small, and we then indicated to the government to say, please nip this in the bud while it's still early. And what government should have done initially was to arrest those few people who were known, deal with them very harshly, and set an example. Because the problem is that if you are not seen to be handling these matters correctly and early enough, you're actually encouraging other people who will then come and say, if these people are doing this and nothing happens to them, so we're also joining.
Yeah.
So I think government left it for too long, but it's not too late. The government can still do something, but do it very, 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 very firmly. Because this is introducing what we call a instability in the country, but also from international investors. People look at this type of things and say, but if there's lawlessness, how is my investment going to be protected?
I mean, from your understanding of the construction mafias and perhaps even maybe some engagements you've had with business leaders or even some of your members under BBC, who are the construction mafias? Can they be named? What's their profile? What's their modus operandi? What do you know so far about how exactly they operate and impact on the companies, on the workers on a daily basis, Kganki?
Yes, we even met those type of people earlier. I think that 2-3 years ago we met them and we told them that what they are doing is lawlessness. So what started this was when the regulations for public procurement were passed, and in there was a 30% that was to be part of the localization. So there was a 30%. If you get a tender, there will be a 30% that you're supposed to give it to local people. But then these people then deliberately misinterpreted this, and then they said, we'll just walk into any site, construction site. They're even doing this in the mining areas in Begersfort and other countries, other parts of the country. They walk in and say, no, they're demanding the 30% that government promised for local people. And then nothing happened. Then they come with guns and they intimidate people. So what we have done, we've got a summit this week on Thursday and Friday. We've invited Minister Begicele to deal with this particular issue. We also invited the advocate Mutivi, the head of SIU, to also deal with this issue, because also after the police arrest people must then be dealt with from a law enforcement agency point of view. So it's important that there's a coordination that is happening between the two, to make sure that those who get arrested actually get charged and then be sent to jail.
Yeah, but also we understand that criminality extends not just to, ambushing companies and demanding a 30% from the revenue from them, but also coming with guns, intimidating employees. We've heard such reports, shooting at, employees or even company owners, threatening them to, not provide protection and demanding protection fees. I mean, these are acts of criminality, and it goes to the point about intervention from law enforcement needing to be exacerbated.
Yes, and in other countries that will never be tolerated. But I think we have been very, very soft on criminals, and hence they continue to do what they think is beneficial to them because at the heart of all this is money. When people realize that you can easily make money without working, everyone else will want to join the bandwagon. But if you deal decisively with them, that would be deterrent to make sure that no one else think about this thing. So for us, these people, I'm sure the police know them because they are there in these communities. They got their 30%. They are driving fancy cars. They are easy to be identified. But I think there's a lack of political will to take unpopular decisions.
Yeah. Just speaking with regards to businesses, especially as an organization that represents black businesses, what do companies then do in the interim while we're waiting for interventions to be implemented, long-term strategies to be speediated? What do businesses do in the meantime to protect themselves and to avoid falling victim to the construction mafia, would you say?
Yeah, what most businesses do, they sort of basically added more costs to doing business by appointing their own protection officers, appointing security firms to look after the individuals, because sometimes they take individuals, they even go to your house. So most companies then they've hired bodyguards for employees and also beefed up security by getting more guards to the site, which then increases the cost. And then what these companies then will do ultimately, they will pass the cost to consumers, which on the other side, if you're a small business, it makes your business not be viable enough. So that threatens the viability of business, which then means unemployment will increase because people will end up closing shops and decide to say, I can't take this anymore, it's very stressful.
Yeah, this is absolutely no way for anyone to live, especially due to lawlessness. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Kganki Matabane, the CEO of the Black Business Council, for joining us this morning, talking more about the construction mafia, a phenomenon not only in parts of KwaZulu-Natal, but we've seen, of course, in the rest of South Africa, where they've been traced, demanding 30% from either private companies doing construction work or those who've received tender approvals from government. And, of course, we've heard from public affairs Minister, that's Sihle Zikalala, Public Works Minister Sihle Zikalala, saying that this, of course, sets government back in as far as service delivery is concerned. It's an extra cost as well to government because they now have to put in more money just to, of course, protect the construction, and that, of course, delaying the work. But we'll continue to delve into this issue, hopefully coming up with resolutions and not just talking about it as we've done with the BBC's Kganki Matabane.